Hey everybody, it's the OMAD Dad. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a channel that's dedicated to living the OMAD lifestyle or eating just one meal a day. I was going through my news feed earlier today and I got this article that I wanted to share with you guys. It's a Fox News article, you can see here, and the headline is Dr. Oz thinks we should cancel breakfast in 2020, saying that it's a ploy. Some interesting quotes here. I think somebody must have interviewed him because they were looking for some New Year's resolution, weight loss, and health tips. But he's quoted as saying, I think for 2020, the first thing I'm going to do is ban breakfast. I don't think we need to eat breakfast. It's an advertising ploy. Unfortunately, a lot of the dogma that we're fed for decades came out of advertisements. It wasn't really based on the truth around our health. This is a pretty powerful statement coming from Dr. Oz, and in the article he mentions intermittent fasting, which I believe he's now a part of, even a big fan of. This is a guy that is on television, viewed by millions of people. He has a magazine that he puts out every single month or so. So there's a lot of advertising dollars around, and here's a guy, a well-known doctor coming out and saying that yes, you should skip breakfast. And frankly, he is right. Breakfast, as I've said in other videos, breakfast being called the most important meal of the day is just an advertising ploy. In fact, it was invented by a man named John Kellogg many, many years ago for the sole purpose of him selling his breakfast cereal, Kellogg's Corn Flakes. He called it with no science backed at all, called it the most important meal of the day. And of course, if it's the most important meal of the day, you need to have the most important component of that meal, which is his breakfast cereal. So of course, as years go on, a lot of the processed food industry, like the bacon industry, the egg industry, orange juice industry, they all jump on the bandwagon too and say, okay, well, if Kellogg is going to do it, then we're going to say we're breakfast components too, we're going to get in on this. But Dr. Oz is saying, get rid of the hype, forget it, cancel breakfast, and have your first meal when you're actually hungry. Now, I don't think he's going to go on to jump on the OMAD bandwagon anytime soon. I think it's probably going to be a little bit too extreme for him to have, especially with his channel. But, he makes a really great point, and that is you should be eating when you're hungry. And unfortunately, one of the things he talks about too here is he said, the reason you may be hungry first thing when you wake up in the morning is because you're having a food withdrawal. He's quoted as saying, because you had some simple carbohydrates like potato chips or french fries at 10 o'clock at night, that means your body's insulin is all whacked up. By the next morning with withdrawal is happening and you're starving like a drug addict. You've got to get your meds. This is why some people wake up in the morning and they have to shove food in their mouth, or they have to have that coffee with the cream or something to curb it. But if those of us who've been on OMAD or who have done some form of time-restricted eating for any amount of time, we don't have that problem because we control our insulin levels, we control our hunger, and we don't have that snacking out of unnecessity. And he's quoted as saying most Americans are addicted to food and we should be addicted to life. I totally agree with that. We should be addicted to life. We should be living, and that's when you eat one meal a day, that's exactly what you're doing. You have more time to live. You have more time to free yourself up. You have more money to do that. I mean, I have videos on all of the benefits of eating one meal a day, not just health benefits either, but finally, a mainstream article featuring a very heavy hitter in the medical industry, whether you think he's a quack or not. This guy is worth millions of dollars, a very famous doctor. He's on TV 5 days a week. He does have magazines out at the newsstand. I see it in the grocery store all the time, and he's telling everybody to skip breakfast. Further proof and further evidence that we don't need to constantly eat all of the time. And now that people in the science community, the medical community are working together and actually looking at some of these old wives' tales and some of these things and practices and habits that we used to do for years and years, they're trying to come up with solutions and reasons as to why we're unhealthy and what's going on. And excuse me, I'm starting to lose my voice, but this is a major one here, that breakfast being the most important meal of the day. Many people really believe it like a religion, and they're afraid that if they don't eat something in the morning, they're just going to completely crash and go crazy the rest of the day, even though numerous studies have showed that doesn't happen. And it's just really refreshing to hear somebody like a Dr. Oz saying, you know what, skip a meal, have a shorter eating window, practice intermittent fasting. You don't have to constantly eat. Again, I don't think we're going to be reading about him joining the OMAD bandwagon anytime soon, but I just thought I'd share this article with you guys today, and I want to hear your take on it, and let me know what you think, and you can leave it in the comments below, or you can email me. But that's it for tonight. It's going to be a short post. I've got some more coming up for you pretty soon. So thank you guys for watching and subscribing. Guys, have a great week. Very happy OMAD. Be well.